Everybody, just letting everybody get logged on. I know we're going to hear from Chris today, so just waiting for everybody to get logged on. We are not in the Grand Canyon today. You guys would laugh at me. I hope everybody can hear me. It's a little spotchy, but we're okay.
Hi, Patti. Hi, Happy New Year, Patti.
Hi, Happy New Year. Hello. I just passed Mount Shasta. I am headed north. Everybody's thinking about that really quick, like what? She's what? I know last week we were in Death Valley. This week we're headed north. Next week, I hope to show you some snow. So I'm sending out an email blast. Everybody keep your eyes open for it. Please, we're trying to stop this assembly bill from coming through. It's a nasty one. Send letters to your local lawmakers. We'll send links in the email blast that I'm sending out. Dan Eukelson from AGLA sent a red alert about it on Monday. So just want to keep your eyes open. Here comes Chris. I'm sure he's going to talk to us about it. But keep your eyes open for that red alert that came in on Monday. I'm also sending an email blast about it today that should go out telling you guys.
Email already.
Oh, you got it already. Yay! All right. Chris, do you want to talk about this new assembly bill at all?
It's really bad. I guess it died in Judiciary Committee last year. I guess my understanding is we have an assembly that has like 2 year, well, multiple sessions, but they go on for 2 years. And if you introduce a bill in the first session, it can come up again in the second session. So I guess that's kind of what happened. And so now it's apparently in front of the Judiciary Committee, at least according to AGLA. I haven't had time to independently verify that, but it is pretty bad. What it would eliminate, what is it, Costa Hawkins that had the exemption for single family residents and condos. Um, so it would now bring condos and single family residences um,
And
into
townhouses too,
control.
Chris, I think.
Right. Well, I'm when I think about condos, because they're kind of similar. Um, yeah, townhouses too. So they'd bring all that into rent control, um, into the AB 1484. So they'd no longer be exempt, and then also at the same time they would basically half the 10 AB 1484 rental increase amounts when it is subject to rent control.
AB
So
1482.
1482, but you all know
Okay,
what I meant.
so hold on. I'm going to say what you just said in simple English, okay? And I'm letting people in at the same time. So what Chris is saying in simple English is they're trying to implement statewide rent control on all residential dwellings and no longer give us an exemption for a townhome, a condominium, or a single family residence. This is what we're all talking about.
Or an ADU.
Say that, or an ADU, correct. So we're trying to stop that from happening. So everybody pay attention, because if you have single family residences within the state, this applies to you. Okay, whether it's a condo, a townhome, or a single family residence, they're trying to implement statewide rent control on everything residential and not give us any exemptions anymore, is what it boils down to.
And also, instead of the 10% cap, it's a 5% cap, like 2% plus CPI max, with a maximum of 5%. So I don't know about you, but when I look at all of our costs, everything's gone up.
Yeah.
Not just way more than that. And not just like, and I'm not just talking about like what we incur as housing providers and how it affects our net rent. I'm talking about like just day-to-day life. So we're kind
Yeah,
of getting
everything's going up, but our paychecks, they're not.
You mentioned something about ADU. ADU is included, you said? I didn't catch that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's my understanding.
Look at it this way, there'll be no exemptions for statewide rent control anymore. Simply said, that is the easiest way to look at it.
Well, you knew that was coming, Patty, when they did the JCO and the rent registry. I mean, this was, the
No, but the
plan.
JCO is local. This is state, so it's not. I mean, it's obviously the advocates all have like designs or whatever, but it wasn't. We still had state protections, so
And now the
this is kind of
state,
broader than just stuff in LA City.
right, this covers everywhere. This covers San Bernardino. This covers Riverside. This covers the entire state of California is what they're trying to do. So,
Patty,
yes.
this is a dumb question because since I'm in San Bernardino, I usually tune stuff out because I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't apply to me. Obviously, it applies. So we have to send an email, and I've never done like this part of it. So what do we include in the email? Like, yeah, what am I
Chris,
supposed to?
Chris, type
I,
up. Give her
I
some
would
good language.
I would start. I mean, be authentic. I put something like mention you're a mom and pop landlord in the subject line, like mom and pop landlords opposing AB. What is it? 1157.
Yeah,
I don't
11:50.
have it in front of me, but so something like that that's like kind of clear and to the point. You're a mom and pop, and you're against that specific bill. And then I would say like, dear, if you want to be really, if you want to take the time, you can say like, dear committee member. I just did dear assembly member and their last name that I got out of their email. I didn't even bother to like look into their gender because I'm busy. Um, I'm writing you as a member of the Judiciary Committee, or I did customize one for the chair because he's the author of the bill, but and for the vice chair, I'm writing you because you're the vice chair, just kind of as a matter of respect. But everybody else just gets I'm writing you as a member of the Judiciary Committee.
It would
I-
be financially devastating to my income flow or to my business or to whatever.
But I would explain who you are if it's a small amount of units, like a few of them or something. Um, I Mine are owned by my parents, so I play up its retirement income when I write it on their behalf, and they approve it. But I play up its retirement income, and I mention even the Social Security income and Medicare premiums
How
going
you
up,
plan on putting your kids through college?
and that they're helping with like expensive daycare for grandchildren. I make it really authentic with facts and stuff, and then I just kind of go like I talk about all the costs that are going up as housing providers, and then I talk about the 5% cap, like that everything else is well in excess of 5%, and as mom and pops, we need to be able to raise the rent. There are times we need to be able to raise the rent to cover costs, and you know,
And then you can copy and paste the message and send
right,
out emails to all of them. Just change the name and the email address.
right. That's what I did, and
Okay,
obviously,
so
and you copy the subject line again
spend
once
the
you come up with
time
a good
to
one.
write one good email and then send it out that way just by changing the name of who you addressed and the email address. It would be most easy that way.
You can also just call them directly and just tell them you're opposed to the bill, and they take
You you
reference.
can, but the only disadvantage that I see is they usually ask you for your zip code, and what they're doing is trying to figure out whether or not you're a constituent. It's the same thing. Like, I got an auto reply from one of them where they're like, use our contact form. Well, the whole reason I don't want to use the contact form, as AGLA suggests, not to rip on AGLA, but what happens when you use the contact form is it usually tells you to contact your own assembly person. Even though they're on a committee that has oversight of the entire state, they like don't want to hear from non-constituents, or they try not to. So I would actually suggest faxing without maybe including your address, or emailing, because they can't really screen it out. And I got one that says rest assured we can't respond to all of them, but we do read every single email. If you want more precise response or whatever, use their contact form. And like I just told you, their contact form doesn't work if you're not in their district because they're shady like that.
It's how they're trying to filter it out. But
And I guarantee you, if you're a lobbyist or a big donor, they're gonna, they're happy to take your call then.
all right, does anybody have any other questions in regards to the new bill that is trying to attack us on a state level? Just so everybody gets it. Meaning it's hitting all of us. They're trying to cap the TPA, the Tenant Protection Act, also known as AB 1482, also known as California Civil Code 1947.1, I think, but I could be wrong. They're trying to change the 5% plus the CPI to be a maximum of no more than 5%, which is 2% plus the CPI to never exceed 5%. That doesn't work for us, folks. They're also trying to remove protections for single family homes and also condos and townhouses. So we need to be on this. We need to pay attention to what's going on and realize that it affects all of us. Please write the email, make the phone call, do what you can to help. All of our voices matter.
Another thing I would say is it's actually going to make housing more expensive because I don't know about you, but when stuff like this comes in, it makes me like more automatically want to increase rent. Usually when I have good tenants, I don't want to increase rent. I just want everything to be, if they pay the rent on time and they're not a problem, I want them as long as possible. And usually, right? But with things like this, it encourages you that every year you want to make sure you're building some cushion in and raising the rent. And that's how I feel. That's how we feel.
I do the same thing as far as the, if you have a good tenant, I usually try not to, but now I feel like it's so much harder playing catch up. So I feel you. I agree with you on that, Chris.
I raised the rent by $15 or $25 and they laugh. And it's way better than them crying and bitching. If they laugh because I raise it too little, I'm still raising the rent.
Right. And I agree with you. Like psychologically, it lets them know, it reminds them you're the owner.
Yeah, but you only raised it $15. That's funny.
Well, I do 25, but usually.
Right. But they usually laugh at you and go, what, $25? And they don't think twice about paying it. It's a different concept, you guys. It's a mind game, for lack of a better way to explain it. Arlene asked, has anyone been able to get the RSO or JCO certificates yet? I've been on hold for 3 hours already. I think that we're going to say no. I don't know of anybody that's got the new certificate yet. Nobody's piping in that they got one, so your answer is no.
I think I might have got the JCO, but not RSO.
Oh, okay. You got.
But I tried. I went on today again in case it was the new year. I still can't. It won't let me enter. There's nowhere asking for the current rent, so we're sending in the forms. Because, like I explained last week, I think we paid the fee.
So, Chris, it says if you do that, then you can't get it online.
Well, I mean, we already paid it, so we're not paying it we're just sending the form in, and I just want proof that, like, hey, look, we paid the fee and we told you what we told you what the rent is. I don't want to have problems, and I'll worry about it. I'll worry about it later.
No, I know. I mean, I paid it and then I went back and then at the bottom of the page, it says rent registry and I did that. And they said, I got emails saying we got your payment and we got your rent registry, but you still can't, it says, we'll email it to you in 2 to 3 days. Well, it's more than that. And nothing's happening.
I'm not surprised. I hate
Have you
that
gone back in and clicked on each
Yeah, I did it this morning again. Nothing.
I'll use AI.
Yeah, it's nothing's coming up. And it's not even giving me the year. It says what year, and you put current year, and it says not available.
Did you click
did anybody
everything? Did you make sure, because I had a major whoops last year on that RSO website, and you got to make sure you click through everything. It is not, I find it extremely user unfriendly.
Yeah, I agree.
Did anybody, I'm wondering if anybody else had the same problem. Did anybody paying their property taxes online in LA County have an issue where it's not letting you in with your old credentials?
I just
was
did
able
it.
to
I think
pay
it was
mine
fine.
No.
Yeah.
Weird, because like it didn't accept the password, and then it wouldn't let us reset because it wouldn't, like, we recorded the answers to the security questions and it still doesn't work. I mean, what a piece POS system.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was just curious.
When you're referring to the RSO JCO certificates, is that for the rent registry for LA City or for DCBA, the county rent registry?
City.
LA
City.
City.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Okay. I was
And
like,
just
one
so
more thing
everybody
I have to
knows,
do.
I just got into Oregon and it's starting to snow. Like, see? Isn't it pretty?
That's beautiful.
I'm sure the dog's not real happy about it. So far, I'm learning she doesn't like cold weather. Oops.
Does don't we usually get a reminder in the mail about the RSO certificate? It's not just an email. We get a hard copy in the mail, correct? Does anybody?
I got it already.
You got it in the mail already?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one.
Yeah, I got
Got
the
it- I got
majority
it
of mine as well.
You get a form asking you to send it in.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't get
Yeah, we
mine.
got all of ours, our JSO and our two RSOs. So
All right, and I'm still letting people get on and join us. We're having a discussion about RSO not sending out certificates. And that some members are having difficulty getting their RSO certificates from the city. Arlene is on hold, been on hold for 3 hours now, and is waiting. Is there a property manager on this call that would be interested in taking on a couple more rental properties in Los Angeles? Anybody have anybody for Miriam?
I would love to help.
There you go. There's Lorena. So she'd be more than happy to help you, Miriam. Lorena, can you put a phone number in the chat so she can call or text you after the meeting's over, please?
Sure, do it now.
Thank you so much.
Have you driven past Shasta Lake yet, or are you getting there?
I'm in Siskiyou Mountain. I'm in Oregon already. I'm going up the 5. It says we have winter storm warning. I'm going to turn around the camera so you guys can see.
are you in Grants Pass yet?
Siskiyou Pass.
Siskiyou Pass. I'm going over Siskiyou Pass. Not Grants Pass.
Almost.
Almost.
Oh, no.
In about an hour, we'll be at Grants Pass. But it's beautiful.
When I drove there, I drove to Seattle as well, and we drove through. We went through Oregon as well. I don't know what area it's Shasta Lake, but we drove through Shasta Lake, and it was like snowing a little bit, and it literally felt like we were driving through an Ansel Adams painting. It was the most beautiful thing. It's like the most beautiful road trip.
No, I love driving in the snow, so I completely and totally understand. I let Blue out to go to the bathroom at the Mount Shasta rest stop, and she decided it was a little too cold for her bougie little desert butt outside of the car. So we'll see how she does. All right, back to the matter at hand. Let's talk about property management. I saw that there's a few people on here that have tried to reach out to me today, but I'll tell you, Agla had a power outage yesterday. Their Wi-Fi was down yesterday, and there was a lot of voicemails to be returned. So many that they asked me to come in today and work part-time. So I'm answering their calls for them today. Margot, if you're on here, I think I saw you on here. I will attempt to call you back again shortly. If not, give me a call after 4:30. I'm busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest today. Everybody's got questions about the 3%. That seems to be a big issue that we're starting to understand, that we lost the capability to charge for utilities, and we lost the capability to be able to charge for unauthorized occupants, the additional 10%. So it is eye-opening. I get a lot of questions about that on a daily. So more legislation coming soon. I don't know what else to say. It is ever challenging in this industry. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
I have a quick question. Since for a JCO, is it the state 30-day notice when you're increasing the rent in the city of LA, not RSO, JCO?
Correct.
So like give it 35, 40 days if doing it by mail?
35 days is a minimum, because you have to allow 5 days for mailing.
Yeah, but you know what, Patty? The post office is changing the dates now that they're stamping on the envelope. It used to be if you mailed it today, the stamp would say January 7th. Now it's not, it may not get to the sorting machine for a couple of days. So that's the date that's going to be now going on the mail, so that I think they can screw people with voting.
Okay, so
you may want to maybe add more than 5 days.
Yeah, agreed with that statement.
Well,
right
maybe a
there.
certificate of mailing, because that at least shows you went into the post office and that's the day you posted it.
The other thing that you guys all need to remember, especially those of us that own management companies, is there's a company out there called Pitney Bowes. Okay? Google it. You're welcome. You can have your own postage machine in your office where you cancel and pay for it at the same time. Ooh.
Chris, what I do, I just did my rent increase on my JCO for March this week, and I just sent it
Well,
certified.
you're doing it for March now?
Yeah, I just wanted to get it out because I want to know if they're not going to stay. I want notice.
Well, that's true. But they don't have to tell you for a while anyway, but
I know, but
I would, but I don't have the best relationship with ours, and I'm waiting for, I think, like a 6-month period for presumption of it being tenant harassment to toll.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to our lovely city and their crazy, in my humble opinion, ordinances.
Extortion ordinances. What he's talking about is Tahoe, the tenant anti-harassment ordinance. It's written very broadly, and as nicely as I could say, you can't even pass gas in the property and it could be considered harassment. No joke, okay? It's very broadly written and not in our favor, simply said.
Yeah, and not just that though, the penalties are just insane.
Yeah, atrocious.
So anybody, if you're renewing your insurance, my advice is talk to your agent and make sure you have some coverage for habitability and tenant harassment.
Yep. If you can add it, do so. They may be great services in your future.
Chris, have you been able to find a company that does that?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I might be is one of the Agla ones not Homewell? Where do I have that thing? I think I have a koozie with it on it. No, I think it was Fuller Insurance Agency.
Mm-hmm.
They got me hooked up. We had to go with a what do you call it? Like it was a condo.
It was a non-admitted
carrier. That's
right.
it. Exactly.
But was it commercial though? Or were you able to get residential?
I'm pretty sure it's resident. I mean, it's supposed to be covering us for dealing with the.
Because I couldn't get any commercial, any residential to cover my fourplex. I had to go commercial.
I don't know if that's just is that because it's 4 units.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm always a big fan of like going to a few different insurance places and shopping around and trying to see and specifically discussing the issue. But I know that I know that it I know for a fact because I was very interested in it that there was coverage for habitability and tenant harassment things.
Yeah, I know. I was able to get 250 in habitability, but I don't know about the harassment. I'll check it out.
Well, I mean, honestly, the way it works is if it's written the right way, as long as it's not excluded, a smarter company will be explicitly excluding those kinds of things. But if it's not excluded, you have a pretty good argument that they're bad faith denying your insurance if they don't cover it. So, that's Fuller. I think the website is FULLERINS.com.
Fuller Insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried them. They couldn't help me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, Margot, you're asking me a question. Who do we recommend for balcony inspections besides Dr. Balcony and Optimum Sizic? And where can we get a copy of the state law requiring it? Thank you. It's 526, I think, Assembly Bill 526. I may have the number wrong.
I
Somebody's
think
gonna
it's
yell.
521. I'll check it.
Okay. Anyway, that's the assembly bill that requires that you have your balconies inspected on or before January 1st of 2026. That if this affects all of your elevated walkways, so stairwells that go upstairs to somebody's landing where their front door is, that all needs to be inspected. I got a feeling they'll use it as a habitability claim in an eviction, saying that they didn't owe rent because you didn't have your balcony inspected, therefore the unit wasn't habitable. In fact, I think that you're more than likely going to have to pull those inspections when you do. There it is, Senate Bill 6721.
I think that's the one for condos. I think AB
Okay.
320, I think, is the one for. Anyway, one of them's for the condos and one of them's for multifamily.
There you go.
Thank you.
I think that they're going to utilize them in eviction matters. They're going to ask you if you have your balcony inspection form. And if you don't have it, that's going to be the argument from opposing counsel is it's not fit to live in because you didn't have it inspected. You also need to take note that this inspection needs to happen redundantly every 5 years. So going forward, not only do you have to do it now or before January 1st of this year, so if you haven't done it, you're already in violation. I'd do it as quickly as possible.
And you don't want your tenants getting hurt as a nice human being, but also on a risk management perspective, you are royally screwed if they get hurt because that balcony
Because
or
you've
walkway
been
collapses.
notified. They made a law about it. I mean, this isn't a joke. So, like Chris is saying, the fines and penalties on the opposite side of the fence are going to be atrocious.
Not
And-
even fines and penalties, Patty. I'm talking about civil liability. I'm talking about a huge jury verdict,
Okay.
like
tell me-
millions.
Okay, there we go. Billions of dollars. Okay.
Well,
Over our pay grades. We don't want to.
Millions, unless you're in LA County, and then it could be billions.
We don't want to put our foot in the water. Okay, the temperature sucks, you guys. So if you haven't gotten them inspected, get them inspected. To answer your question on getting a list, if you're a member of the apartment association, go look at the magazine. It's got a whole vendor directory in the back under advisory council or something, or business council.
And they have it on the AGLA website too.
And it's on their website as well. So there's a whole list of balcony inspectors that you can get. And if you see those two and don't want to use them, pass them by. There's other ones there.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you so much.
I think
No
they're,
problem.
I think they're also going to be looking when they come out to do the skip inspections.
Exactly. But in other cities and counties, we don't have those. So I got a feeling that how they're going to get us in other counties is during an eviction or something of the like, or somebody's going to get hurt.
I have a question, Patty. So I manage a condo in Rancho Cucamonga, and it's a big complex. So who is responsible for the balcony?
If
The
your
homeowner?
HOA needs to do it,
Oh, okay, got it. All right, thank you.
if it's well run, they will have already done it. I would just ask them
If
to.
you're in a condominium, it is the responsibility of the homeowners association.
I have a question about this.
Yes.
So if it's a 3-unit property, but a duplex is the building that has the stairs and it's a single like level unit in the front that creates the 3-unit property, is that still required to get the inspection?
It doesn't matter how many units there are. It says all elevated walkways.
Okay.
So anything that has stairs or a walkway up to a front door that's elevated, that all has to be inspected. Balcony.
Except that I think it's only multifamily and common interest developments, and a duplex isn't a common interest development.
Okay.
Well, it's a 3-unit property.
Yeah, but
that has
the number of units doesn't affect whether it's a common interest property or not. It either has like CC&Rs and operates with an HOA, or it doesn't.
So you're saying that then the inspection is not required?
It's not required by these laws as far as I understand them, but it's not a bad idea. I mean, I don't know. It depends on like how old the property is.
Look, let me say it a different way so you can understand the why behind it, okay? Years ago, 6 exchange students went on the balcony of a condo to have a beer and they fell to their death. There was no building and safety restrictions on how much weight a balcony or an elevated walkway had to hold. Therefore they weren't built to be structurally sound. We don't want your tenant falling or having a problem and then suing the pants off of you. I think that's the nicest way that Chris is trying to tell you, protect your asset to the best of your ability. And if you have a raised stairway or walkway, have it inspected just to make sure it's up to par. That way nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, unless it was like built in the last 5 years or something like that.
There you go. Anybody else have anything?
Patty, I
do have a quick question.
Okay. One of you
I'm
go
sorry.
first.
Or no, you can go first. There's some questions in the chat whenever you get.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so just really quick about a refrigerator breaking down. Is the food lost a responsibility of the landlord to compensate for?
This, in my opinion, gets tricky, and I'm sure Chris is going to pipe up, so pay attention because we're going to banter a little bit. Your food, in my opinion, is your personal property that would be covered under your renter's insurance. Okay? But when an owner's appliance goes badly, does that put the problem or the procuring cause being the owner's fault? It could. So I would encourage them to get renter's insurance to cover their personal belongings, including their food in the refrigerator. But when it comes down to it, I think that we're going to have to see some case law come about in order to pave the road to tell the rest of us how this is going to go.
I mean, I think theoretically it could be argued you're negligent or something in some way, although, I mean, I don't really see how because things break and you can't really foresee it. But you could always get sued for something, but then they're going to have proof and evidence. So they'll have to have receipts for their lobster and their caviar and their Dom Perignon or whatever else went went bad and their stakes or whatever else magically went bad, right? Just like when somebody's car gets stolen and they had a Picasso in the trunk. So I would encourage people to file a claim with their renter's insurance. I don't know. It's kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but your lease, not only does your lease need to, state that they have to have renter's insurance, but they need to provide you with a copy of it, with proof of it within a couple weeks of moving in. Um, that's what we do.
Okay, and I'm going back. We talked about balcony inspections. Thank you, Margot. I'll take you off my list of phone calls to return because I did see that. Patty, so does your comment about not being able to charge to utilities apply to existing tenants that have already signed the livable rubs agreement, or are we not allowed to renew? No, it has nothing to do with rubs. Okay, it has nothing to do with livable. Remember how under LA city law, you could charge 3% for a rent increase and then 1% if you were paying water and trash and 1% for gas electric. You can't charge the 1% for water trash. You can't charge the 1% for gas electric. What you're asking me is not, one's a baked potato and one's a cantaloupe. They're not one and the same. They are not the same thing. Keep doing what you're doing with livable and with the rub system, okay? Patty, can you go over the utility thing, and does it apply to San Bernardino? No, it does not. The utility thing that we're talking about for not being able to charge an additional percentage for utilities is in LA City only, okay? So that doesn't apply to you at all. Do you know if the city of Ontario requires 1 business license or 2 if one property is an ADU? You're going to have to call them and ask them. I can't answer that. My opinion is they're going to charge you for 2. Why? Because they get more money. Belsey, question, Patty. Moved in with her son approximately 4 to 5 years ago. The son has been incarcerated for the past 3 years, and it is unclear how much longer he will remain in jail. I recently saw a rent increase notice, and the tenant is very upset because her son's name was included on the notice. Are we legally allowed to keep the son's name on the lease and other documents even though he's incarcerated? Under what circumstances would we be required to remove him from the lease? For example, if that incarceration were related to domestic violence, what would be the legal justification for keeping him on the lease or removing him? Well, I'll tell you right now, anybody that's named on the lease can live in the property. I don't know what he went to jail for. He could have murdered somebody. So you may not want him to come back to that house when he gets out of jail. The mom may not want him to come back to that house when he gets out of jail. What we need is something from him saying that he has no further interest in the property located at and the property address, meaning he doesn't live there, he doesn't have a right to the deposit, and he doesn't need to sue you for anything. So no further interest in the property located at and the full property address, okay? And I'm still going down the list. What can we...
Even though he is in jail, he can send out letters
to you. Yeah. You can write a letter to him even if you know where he's incarcerated.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem. What can we do if the tenants refuse to purchase renter's insurance? Serve them a cure or quit if it's a term of their tenancy, and then enforce eviction if the city allows you to evict for that material breach. Dr. Balcony got so busy, he referred the inspection on my 3 buildings for January 9th after they'd taken in payments for the inspection. Contact the Better Business Bureau and let them know that they took payment. I'd also contact the contractor's state licensing board. Okay?
I also wouldn't
And
necessarily...
AGLA.
Right. But I
And-
also like I don't think it's the end of the world if it happens like within a week or two.
Okay, fair enough.
Better to do it than not, and like you're probably going to encounter the same issue with every other balcony inspector.
Okay. And does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
Hi, Patty. I do.
Okay.
I have one quick question and then I have a little bit longer question.
Okay.
The quick question that I have is regarding the utilities. I understand that we can no longer add the additional percentage on the rent increases. I get it. But on a lot of the properties, we charge separately for water. Like we have the base rent, like for instance, at $3,000 base rent, and then we charge like $100 for water, and that's included in the lease. Is that still acceptable to continue to do with new leases and with the old leases?
Yes.
Okay. So the only thing that this is affecting is just the percentage on the rent increases. Got it. Okay, very good. Just wanted to clarify that. And then my long question is this. In the city of LA, I have a new tenant who moved in a couple months ago. In my defense, I didn't rent to them. The owner did. So they've been there 2 months, and I got a call from the neighbor in the front of them that somebody was supposedly cleaning a gun, and the gun went off in the neighbor's house, and it went through the front neighbor, put a hole in the wall, and the bullet went into a piece of her furniture. Thank God it didn't hurt anybody. So they called the police. The police came down. They did a police report. I called the new tenant and I said, please explain to me what happened here. And she said it was her boyfriend. She didn't know he had a gun. He's no longer coming to the property. When the police showed up, he was gone. He was gone. And she said he's never coming back, that she has a son and, she doesn't want that around, et cetera, et cetera. So now what should I do?
Well, she's responsible for paying for it. It was her guest or that did the damage.
That's not what she's worried
No,
about.
yeah, I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
Well,
She wants that to not happen in the community again. And the fact that it's her boyfriend, he'll be back. We both know it as property managers.
but what else can you do? I mean, document that
There
you did that.
is
Well,
nothing-
that's my question. That's what I'm
there's
asking her.
nothing you can do except a curable breach of covenant for discharging a firearm within the city limits. And law enforcement was contacted. That's the only way you could document it is with a cure quit. But it's in city of LA. You'd have to prove a nuisance and have 7 of those to do an eviction. But I mean, if you want to document it, that's the way I would document it, is with a cure or quit that an unauthorized occupant was in her unit cleaning a gun.
But I would also take notes in my own file, my own business records.
Yeah.
My client and my tenant communications file too, like noting the discussion, what was said.
But I would serve a cure or quit that an unauthorized occupant did it.
Yeah, I would do both.
And they need to remove the unauthorized occupants within 3 days, and they can no longer illegally discharge a firearm within the unit.
Okay, so the owner called me, when I talked to the owner and told him what had happened, he's like, oh, I want you to give her something in writing that if that guy shows up again, we're going to evict her and this and that. I'm like, wait, pump your brakes. I don't know if I can do all that,
The unauthorized occupant is why I focused there. I was with you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
unauthorized occupant, discharging of a firearm within city limits. I mean, there's code he broke. I'd contact law enforcement and ask them if any charges or anything happened because of that. Ask them for a copy of the report. So that you can include it on the cure or quit.
On the cure or quit. Okay, and so just do one cure or quit, hand it to her, and that's it. And then obviously redo the repairs.
And do the repairs and bill it back to the tenant that caused the damage.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you ask her to get a TRO,
What's a TRO?
temporary restraining order?
Oh.
You can get a temporary restraining order. The problem is there wasn't a crime committed. It was an accidental discharge.
Yeah, unless you like brandished it or aimed it at her, there's no basis for one either, by the way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. It would be like trying to stop somebody from coming near your car because they worked on it before. It's just not going to happen.
Okay.
Patty,
Patty,
on
I'm
the
sorry.
same.
Oh, I'm so
Oh no,
sorry.
I was just gonna say on your same topic, because I had this happen, but granted, I'm not in LA, so this was Redlands, and this was 8 years ago. Same thing happened. Supposedly, gun went off from the upstairs unit and then into a downstairs unit, shot through the bed. Thankfully, the downstairs unit, they were on vacation or something, so no injuries. But we were able to do a 3-day notice to quit, and we didn't even they didn't want us to serve it. They immediately went to the attorneys, and that happened, and they were able to, we didn't have to do a cure quit. But again, we were Redlands.
Because you're in a different county, it comes with different rules.
Got it. But couldn't she say that you are responsible for your guests? So, I mean, I don't know.
Her lease contract already says that.
Okay.
Okay. It already says you're responsible for your guests or anybody that you bring into the property, even workmen. So the tenant is ultimately responsible for this. In another county, you could easily issue them a quit notice with a police report and kick them out. But in LA, it just isn't going to happen.
So you said cure or quit, right? That's the form that you said for me to use?
Yep, unauthorized occupant and illegal discharge of a firearm, and get that incident number and get it on that cure or quit.
Was he even an
Unauthorized
occupant? Was
and
he an occupant or a
illegal
guest?
discharge. No. Well, I don't know for sure. She said that it's just a guess that he was not living there, but I'm gonna put occupant just anyways.
Right, it's her boyfriend. So
Yeah.
we're trying
Illegal
to
discharge
I know, but
of
he's not.
firearm.
But there's no proof whatsoever. He's nothing more than a guess. I mean, until
Why
you
was
have
a
proof.
guest cleaning a gun in your living room?
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so stifle it, Edith. I'm being funny, you guys. It's just
As a fellow lead delivery device
owner.
person, should I say?
That delivery?
think-
Oh my God, I love that.
I think you understand that sometimes you just gotta clean your gun after you've been to the range or something. So, I mean, he might have just been there. What I'm saying is he might not be an occupant. He might have been there overnight and wanted to clean his gun after going to the range with her or something. Who knows? Like, I can come up with legally explainable reasons. I can't understand why he's such a dumbass that he discharged it cleaning it. Because
and then he left and made himself unaccountable to law enforcement. Which
Exactly. That was my point. Yeah.
Tells me he probably shouldn't own the firearm in the first place.
Right.
Exactly.
And I don't disagree with any of that. I'm just saying as
would've
far as
had
what legal basis you have against an aggressive tenant's attorney is what I'm saying. Like,
it's a stretch from the property management side to encourage the tenant to not allow him
right,
back to the
right.
property.
And you're documenting it. And you're documenting it. And I think
Bingo.
even in another jurisdiction, if I was a judge, I might need a second time that happened to actually go through with an eviction. But that's just me.
Okay.
Not 8. I'm not a commie. I don't need 8, but maybe a second time because one time it could happen. Okay?
I had an accidental discharge in an apartment community that wasn't a triplex, it was a duplex. And the gun went, the round went through the wall, into an interior wall, through that interior wall, through an interior door, into a baby crib, and landed in the nanny cam.
This is why some people like shotguns.
Yeah, hollow points and things of that nature were made so that they don't continue traveling through objects. They sound scary, but they're better, okay? They hit something firm and stop. They don't continue to travel. Here, Education 101. Sorry.
But I like the shotgun because when you rack it, it scares the F out of the person on the other end.
Well, here's the problem, Chris, and one midget speaking out loud, you gotta be able to rack it.
Well, you do get to use 2 hands usually if you have a light on it, and yeah.
Well, when you're 4 foot nothing, your arm span won't allow you to rack some firearms.
I was thinking more of the recoil, but for you.
Hey, that's what the wall's for. I'm more concerned with, can I rack it? All right, let me keep going down. What is the name and phone number of the business banking partner? That's Sev, and he's at Century 21. No, he's at,
Is it Commercial Bank of California? Does that sound right? No, it's not that one.
hang on, I'm on a mission. I
Oh,
have,
I have a bag from the ag.
I have Agla's magazine at my feet because I'm working for them today, and I'm going to end this call so I can go back and answer their calls. Don't laugh too hard at me. Business banking. Hang on, I'll find it for you. Banking, accounting. I want banking. Give me banking. Here we go. Here's banking. Where's Sev? I want Sev. Here he is, Sev. 310-867-6811. And tell him Widget sent you. 310-867-6811. That's Sev, and he's at First Century Bank. If you have a unit that has a balcony that fails inspection, how do you handle that? Can you post signage informing tenant not to go on balcony? Yeah, but you got to give them a reduction in their rent because you're giving them a reduction in services. And you can't stop them from going out there. So you can screw it off and tell them not to go out there and put up yellow caution tape. But if they go get hurt, you still have the potential liability on you. Oh God. I'm sorry, you guys. I took a sip of iced tea and swallowed an ice cube.
Hey, how do you spell Zev or Sev?
S like Sam, E like eggplant, V like Victor.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check.
And really nice guy. Really nice guy. Just tell him to save your asset. He knows exactly what to do.
Can you get a secured loan for like a repair?
Yes. You can get a signature loan on a repair. Because he's just gonna pull a signature loan for you. Is it snowing? Is that what you're telling me? It's raining. It's raining.
What's a signature loan? Just a personal loan with no security, or?
Correct. Similar to a credit card loan. I don't suggest them, but sometimes you need them. Can you please talk about LA County passing an emergency declaration for the storm and its impact? Okay, I'm going to talk about it. San Bernardino County was heavily impacted. I don't think LA County was. Not to the extreme of Wrightwood and people having to shovel 4 feet of mud out of their homes. Someone is trying to call me. I apologize. Let me get you back here. There we go. So, I can't see why LA County passed that. I'm a little biased here. There's a whole neighborhood in Wrightwood that's still under 4 feet of mud, that still doesn't have power. Okay. It sucks. I don't know why LA County saw the need to declare a state of emergency, but what that means is you can't raise rents over 10% until 30 days after the declared state of emergency has expired. So for the next 30 days, you're at a 10% maximum rent increase. That's what that does. Okay.
When does that expire? When does that expire then? At the end of January? Is that what expires January 28th?
No, this was just done this past week, so it won't expire until February, whatever day they pass the law.
Thought they did one December 31st. Was there another one this week? I'm just reading what I read
I
from.
was just reading the AGLA email.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
is that the same one or is that a new one?
That's a new one from the second storm, I believe. I'll have to look at it and then I can answer your question better.
I think there are two reasons why they might be doing it. One, the housing people like it because it perpetually installs rent control backdoor.
Right.
And two, I think under like states of emergency, they can do like they can award contracts without competitive bidding.
Oh, there you go.
So we just sit and wait. We just sit and wait until we can raise our place to market rent before I mean, I have a vacant unit and I've just been waiting on the declarations of emergencies to pass.
You're gonna have to continue waiting or list them only at 10% of what the last tenant was paying.
Okay. Okay. I have one more question.
Okay.
I just need most of your opinions on this. I have a 3-unit building. The garages are detached. They're kind of in the back of the alley. They are all 2-car garages. The building was built in 1955. So the garages now, when it rains, if we get really heavy rain, sometimes a little water will seep into the garages. Not enough to flood it or anything like that, but there is some water that might come in. And I'm struggling with, do I include I've always included the garages, but because of the problem tenant I had the last time, I just want to make sure I'm doing things correctly. I've always stated in my lease is that the garages are for parking cars only, not for storage. Would you recommend including the garage, not including the garage, or is there a way to state that if water might come in there, but make them aware of it in advance?
Honestly,
Yes.
I would separate it from the residential contract and put it on the parking contract because then it's on a commercial contract and doesn't have the residential protections that it would have if you attached it to your lease.
Okay.
In other words, if the roof's leaking, it's a habitability issue if it's attached to a residential contract. If it's a commercial contract, that's on the tenant.
So you're saying do set a separate commercial contract for the garage if they want to rent the unit with the garage with parking?
Correct. Do not attach it to a residential contract or that item now has residential protections.
I mean, I don't know if that will work in practicality or not. It just, it's not a good fact if you found that out. You know what I mean? If there are other issues, if you ever have other issues that are habitability with the house, it's not a great fact for you as a landlord.
No, because you're going to have to disclose that you had knowledge about it.
So then to avoid all of that, would you just say the street parking only and not rent the garage, not include the garage?
Until I could get it fixed so it doesn't leak, that's probably what I do.
Okay.
And then when they are ready to be rented, I would do them on the commercial agreement, not on a residential.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else have anything? What's wrong, Blue? You saying hi to everybody? Okay, so nobody else has anything? It is 1 o'clock. I'm going to get off of here. Next week, we have a new adventure, folks. So please log in next week when God knows where Widget will be, but it will be north of where I am now.
Hey, Patty, I sent you a question. Only I cannot speak it because it's very loud where I am right now.
Okay, you're fine. See, I'm going back and looking. Hang on. In Upland, there's a property with 3 units. The front house has 2 units, each with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. In the back, there are 2 additional units, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and 1 studio. The property has 1 meter for gas, water, and electricity. Contact Livable You can go to livable.com/AGLA if you're an AGLA member, and Livable is who will help you figure out the legal way to disperse all of those utilities fairly and legally. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you to implement the RUB system. But Livable does that for you, and it's fairly inexpensive. It's cheap. It's worth every dime. And then they do it every month, so you don't have to. It's awesome. Livable.com. Okay? Hope you got that, Elsie.
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else?
Yes. The leaseholder?
It is starting to pour rain where I am in Oregon. I'll show you guys a windshield. It's raining. It's pouring. The old man is snoring. We'll see how the adventure goes, but it should be quite exciting. Blue is very excited. If you guys need anything, feel free to give me a call. I'm gonna clock back in for AGLA and help their members. It was great seeing everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Patty. Have a safe road trip.
I'm gonna try. Bye.
Bye.